All good.
We started. They didn't even tell us we started.
Got you. I got you.
We're live.
Tweeting that we're live. Yep. Tweeting this Ryan Bader weigh in 234.4. Hello.
Is that
Hello,
official?
everyone. 234.4.
Oh.
That is.
Is that official?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm writing it down.
All right.
It's 234.4 for Ryan Bader, the champ. What's up, everybody? Sorry, guys. We had a bit of an abrupt start here. But thank you for tuning in. These are the Bellator 290 official weigh-ins. These are official. It's only 9 a.m. out down there where E. Casey Leiden is in California, fancy sunny California. We've got a lot of snow up here in Markham, Ontario. I believe I'm not promising an appearance, but I believe the legendary Esther Lynn is in the general vicinity. She's taking photos, of course. One of the greatest chroniclers of. Speak of the devil, Fedor Emelianenko's legendary career. So you know Esther's getting a good spot right now to take shots of what we're 98% certain will be his final weigh-in. He looks like he's in good shape. Wow. Not that that's a surprise, but. $236.2 for the last emperor, Fedor Emelianenko. Very calm, very little pomp and circumstance, as he's done so many times. He's not here to put on a show. That's tomorrow night. That's for Saturday. That's for fight night. So very little weight difference between the two. Of course, Ryan Bader, longtime light heavyweight, has now made that permanent move to heavyweight. I don't think you'll ever see him hover higher than around 240. And Fedor has never fought higher than, even in that range in his entire career. So two guys just not cutting weight, fighting at heavyweight, and that's what we like to see. A rematch. Hold on, we have our next weigh-in.
170.8. Did you catch that? 170.8 for Homasi.
That's 170.8 for Sabah Homasi. Is leading off the main card, which will be on CBS. The main card starting at, I want to say, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. local time. Again, on CBS. Scott Coker and his crew are back. Scott Coker is back on CBS. Shades of Strikeforce. I believe that's 170.8 for Brennan Ward, so same weight as his opponent, Sabah Homasi. I don't know if we're doing this, Casey, but our first two. Well, we'll go one. You know what? We'll do a recap after. So
Yeah.
They're coming. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if they have lined up the fighters, obviously, who are fighting each other to just step up here. Because so far we've got two fights that are set as can be.
170.8. Who's that gentleman? I'm not sure.
I will let you know in a second. Yeah, sorry, we're getting a little caught up here. Also, well, that was 170.8 for Ethan Hughes. Ethan Hughes. He is fighting. I believe, yes, they are coming in with their opponents.
This is Calvin Klein. I guess he's a.
Yeah, one of several fighters named Calvin Klein today. Yes, I believe that's Yusuf Karakaya. I will double check. Yes, yeah, it's Yusuf Karakaya, 170.2. So, I think if this goes as scheduled, that is the prelim opener. We have 145 for, I believe this is Peter Ishiguro. Peter Ishiguro. So they did two of the main card fights. We're still waiting on Johnny Eblen and Anatoly Tokov. That's the co-main event of the evening. Right now, it looks like they're going in the order of the prelims now, but I will let you know if that changes.
136.8.
And it changed. So this is a different opponent. This is not who is fighting Peter Ishiguro. This is Jaylon Bates at 136. 136.8, excuse me. 136.8. Pardon me. That was Jornel Lugo at 135. There's one half of our co-main event, the challenger Anatoly Tokov, 184.8. 184.8. A lot of people see Tokov as the man to end Johnny Eblen's title run before it's even begun. Johnny Eblen, a huge win, of course, beating Musasi, but boy, this is a very, very tough first title defense. 170.4 for Neiman Gracie. He's the he will be the last prelim again if I'm looking at the schedule correctly. Facing I won't do the whole joke again. I'll do the whole joke when he weighs in. He's facing Dante Schiro. Oh, well, I get to do it. That's 170.64. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the Dante Schiro. So that fight with Neiman Gracie is official. We are cruising along here. Again, they've done a pretty good job. I think they're... Pardon me, guys. I had to clear my throat there. I think they've been doing a good job of... That's at 253.4 for Steve Mowry, one of the heavyweight fights on the card. He's going to be facing former PFL champion, also undefeated, Ali Isaev. That's 205.2 for Grant Neal. Grant Neal will be fighting Karl Albrektsson. I believe this is him with a haircut. 205.2. That's 205.2 for Karl Albrektsson. His flowing locks, long gone. Maybe I missed his last fight. Maybe he cut it a while ago. But that fight with Grant Neal is official. We are cruising. $125.8, I believe they said, for the always graceful Alejandra Lara. That was 145.2 for Akhmed Magomedov. He's got a Magomedov in his name, so if you're a gambling man, he's got a tough opponent. He's facing Henry Corrales, but I don't know. If you're like Jed Meshew, you see Magomedov, you immediately put money on the Magomedov side. Just saying. 145.2. This is 145.6 for Isaiah Hokit. Isaiah Hokit. So that is Peter Ishiguro's opponent. He weighed in earlier, and that fight is now official. So 145.6 for Isaiah Hokit. That's 155.6 for Chris Gonzalez. See if his opponent's coming up. And there you go. A lot of people matching the exact same way. There's his opponent, Max Rohskopf, 155.6. So I don't know if I don't know if everyone's just being really precise and somehow weighing in exactly the same as their opponents. Very possible. Or if there's a guys just looking at the scale and saying, close enough. I said 155.6 before, and I'm just going to say they're the same. So we're still going. We got Darian Caldwell now. He fighting at, what weight is he fighting at? Back at bantamweight. I believe that was 135.8 for the former Bellator champion, Darian Caldwell. Yeah, 135.8. There we go. We're still waiting for his opponent, but we got a pretty good rush there. I think we've had at least one halfway. Oh, yeah, we had one halfway in for almost every fight, and we've had a bunch of fights where both fighters have showed up. So, oh, here we go. Another one. I believe that is his opponent, Nikita Mikhailov. Nikita Mikhailov is, I want to say this is his Bellator. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is his fourth Bellator fight. I apologize. He's at 2-1 in the Bellator cage so far. Thank you, Topology, for that little quick check there. Coming off a loss. 261.8 for former PFL champion, the undefeated Ali Isaev. Maybe would have won the last year. He missed. He didn't get the chance to fight in the 2022 PFL season, so did not get to defend his title. But now he's with Bellator. We'll see if he makes some waves over here. That heavyweight picture about to be wide open. Depending, actually, regardless of what happens, if Fedor wins, the title gets vacated. It's wide open. If Fedor, oh man, not the first time I'm gonna do that. If Ryan Bader is victorious, he still also needs fresh challengers. So really, actually, whoever wins the Maori Isaev fight, don't be surprised if again Maori, a guy they're really invested in, Isaev making his debut, was the champion in PFL. If Bader wants to stay busy this year and wants to rack up heavyweight title defenses, one of these guys could be fighting for that title sooner rather than later. So would not surprise me at all. That's a pivotal fight on what's a pretty stacked prelims. Let's give this a little bit of time here. Someone might step up still. But that is the majority of the card.
I think we have a break now. Yeah.
I think we have to. Okay. Wow. Whew, let me catch my breath here.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks again, anyone just tuning in. We're a little caught off guard. They started real quick. They started like on the dot, or like maybe a minute before the official weigh-in time. They just had Ryan Bader was ready to go. He's the champ. He's the headliner. Steps up to the scale. Thank you, everyone. So everyone tuning in. Bellator 290 official weigh-ins. Alexander Cayley here up in Canada. E. Casey Leiden on site in the beautiful California. Getting ready to, again, see the final fight of Fedor Emelianenko, a man that he and Esther Lynn have seen in person many, many, many times. So no one better to be on site for this for sure. I'll do a little bit of an unofficial rundown. I'll just let people know who hasn't weighed in yet. Most importantly, middleweight champion Johnny Eblen. We are still waiting on him, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just do a little quick double check here. Yes, Johnny Eblen we are waiting on. Our headliners, I'm going to let people know in the comments. I'll let you guys know in the comments who we're waiting for in a second. But Johnny Eblen we're waiting for. His opponent, Anatoly Tokov, weighed in 184.8. So he's successful. In the main event, Ryan Bader, 234.4. Fedor, 236.2. Both guys well under the heavyweight limit. That rematch is official. And Sabah Homasi and Brennan Ward opening up the main card, CBS and Paramount Plus, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Both came in 170.8. So we're also waiting for Lorenz Larkin. I think we're also waiting for Mukhamed Berkhamov. We are also waiting for, you know what? Shout outs to Amy Kaplan, who just tweeted out who's we're waiting for. So I'm going to go on by her list. Johnny Eblen, Lorenz Larkin, Mukhamed Berkhamov, Diana Avsaragova, her opponent Alejandra Lara did weigh in, and also Henry Corrales, his opponent Akhmed Magomedov has already weighed in. And I'm pretty sure that list is accurate. We've had everybody weigh in again, just one main Carter. It's only a 3-fight. So we're just waiting for Johnny Eblen. Okay, I think we can breathe now. Casey, how's the air down there?
We're good. Where's my coffee? Let's see. Where's my coffee?
Let me let people know. Anyone, take a little coffee break. I'm gonna let people know. I'm gonna leave a comment. Let people know. Main event is official. Bader. What were the weights there?
Yeah.
Ryan Bader 234.4. And Fedor Emelianenko 236.
Should we go to the comments?
236.2. I haven't looked, so I'm a little scared. Let me leave a comment here. The main event official is Ryan Bader 234.4. Fedor Emelianenko 236.2, having successfully made.
Well, we can answer this question for Mr. Alanya.
Oh, hit me up. Hit me up.
You don't see the question on your screen?
What do we got? I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Okay. Kenny Michael Alanya, when will Fedor retire, man? We hope tonight. We hope tonight.
Nope.
We hope
this
is official. I'm sorry. Saturday night. Excuse me. It'd be funny if he retired tonight.
Yeah.
That would be really. You know what? I actually don't want to fight it one more time.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I thought about it. And I'm like,
hey,
no,
look, we got
retired now.
Look, we got movement. We got movement.
Here we go. Again, only 5 fighters left.
Mr. Eblen.
Johnny Eblen. On weights. Hold on, I will have that for you guys in a second.
See his shorts.
Eblen 184. No, I'm sorry. I was tweeting. What was on the shorts? 184. No, I'm sorry. I was tweeting. What was on the shorts?
Bad words.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad I didn't see it then. 184 for Johnny Eblen. His fight with Anatoly Tokov is official now. So there we go. So that's the whole main card is set. Just waiting for some preliminary fighters. Yes. When will Fedor? Should we address that question further? Casey, you're pretty sure this is it, right? No more shenanigans, right? This feels.
He's never faked retirement. You know, there's always been he's been taking a hiatus or taking a break. But he's never said this is my last fight and then comes back. He's never done. He's never done one of those. So this goes up as a retirement fight. And dude, like not enough has been said about like Fedor. Like he could pick literally any heavyweight in the world to fight, and he wanted Ryan Bader. I think for his final fight at 46 years old. Like so, he knows the risk. I think none of us are. None like our hearts are picking Fedor, but I think our brains, no one in our brain, logically is picking Fedor to win this fight. But Fedor still it's just a crazy confidence he still has, or do you just still go in there with freaking Ryan Bader, a guy that knocked probably his quickest, most decisive loss in his career, I would think, right?
35 seconds, yeah.
35 seconds, and it wasn't like an early stoppage or one that's like, oh man, he couldn't have gone longer. Like, nope, he was done. So, man, credit to Fedor and never backing down from a tough fight. Even though as fans, we may wanted to see him go out with a more winnable opponent, but the fact that he's doing this, man, like that's why he's the legend. That's why when I remember when he lost to say Verdum or when he lost to Antonio Silva. I was at those fights, and I remember fans and even media I felt like we were more bummed out about Fedor losing than Fedor himself was, because he's just like, it's a fight, I try my best. I didn't win, and that was it. And try to get better and do better next one. Like we were so much more invested in this kind of GOAT status than he ever was. I just think that's really interesting, I've never
heard him I've never once heard him refer to himself as I'm the greatest or talk about his legacy, which every fighter does now. And they're like 12 fights into their career, and they're like, yeah, I'm really thinking about my legacy. I'm really thinking about how people are gonna. It's like you're like the number 9th ranked, flyweight or something. Like, settle down. Like,
yeah,
confidence is great, having perspective is great, but man, look at this guy again. This guy Fedor, who is now at the end of his career, and through it all. he's answered questions, I mean, about being the greatest, but I don't know if he's ever brought up saying like, oh, well, this is where I stand, and I hope people was like, no, he does not care.
Yeah,
Does
remember
not
that?
care.
Remember that one time he walked by the booth, he grabbed the mic and said like, "I am MMA."
I think when Connor said, "I'm not here. I'm not here to." What was it? I can't believe I'm forgetting one of the most famous lines now. We're not here. We're just here. We're here to take over. And we're not here to take part. We're here to take over. People,
Nailed it.
It's very early Western time, so I'm just.
Who's Conor McGregor?
When Conor McGregor said, "We're not here to take part. We're here to take over," I believe that was a translation of Fedor. I'm sure Fedor used to say it. Fedor used to say it all the time. He beat Zuluzinho and was like, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over, but in Russian. No, he's just never. That's just not who he is, and that's the beauty of it, and that's allowed us. I've seen a lot this week. I don't know if you've seen it, Casey. Like people going like, why is the like some people asking, like, why is the media gushing about this guy so much, and why is like so many articles about Fedor, articles, videos, podcasts, on and on and on and on, and like. I think it's because he's left that door open for us to do. Someone has to do it because he's not going to, and he never will. When he's gone, he's gone. I could see him maybe doing the occasional interview with like a Russian media outlet, maybe, but he's not talking to us again. He's not coming to flying to the U.S. to do a presser. Hell no. Maybe he'll show up at a Bellator event because he's buddies with Scott Coker.
He might be a coach. He might be in the corner for
he might be in some corner
or something like that. Like yes. a type. Basically, he's gonna become a Russian heavyweight. Another Russian heavyweight Khabib. In the sense that we might actually see more of him in a sense in the corner, but not actually in the cage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Definitely.
I felt well, not right now, but I felt like in the last year we saw more of Khabib than we've ever seen. While he was an actual fighter, we saw him more just out and about doing interviews, just photo things, promotional things. Fedor might go that route, maybe not. We don't know. We got to find out after all this. What is that shirt about that he's been wearing for the last five or six fights? Is that the only shirt he has? Whatever that.
Is it one shirt or is it just the same style?
No, one shirt. One shirt. He's very frugal. He's a great fighter. Okay. Very frugal.
Simple. Yeah, simple man.
Simple. Yeah.
But yeah. It's such a pleasure to talk about his legacy, but also it's a necessity. This is This is one of many fighters who we cannot let their legacy go away. We cannot let their legacy be rewritten. Boulder, noting Fedor has fought 22 years. He's only lost 6 times. We talk about him having like fallen off, and like all his losses are memorable. Don't get me wrong. Like those losses stick out. When you only have 6 losses in almost 50 fights, I get it, and they're all recent, and some of them are pretty bad.
But think about how he loses. I like how Jed brought this up. Like all these losses, like he goes big or goes home. Like first round knockout, second round knockout, or he himself get knocked out. Like you can't. How many fights does he have? What is it? 40 something fights.
46. This is 47 on Saturday.
So he's 47 fights. He's 46 years old. He has 47 fights. And how many fights? Like how many decisions did he have? Like maybe 5, 6. Against like the Garrett Krokops.
Yep, those 2 guys he couldn't finish, understandably.
And like it's incredible. Like the thing about guys like Raul Rosas Jr. He wasn't born. Like Fedor was well into his career, and that man was not even born yet. I would love to hear what fighters like him even think about Fedor.
Does he know who Fedor is?
but like,
legitimate question.
I wonder, like, if you're just like into music or whatever, like, do people know like I listen to a lot of punk rock, but like I wasn't around when the Clash were around, but like, you go back and listen to it, I go back and listen to the Stooges. I wonder if like new fighters. Era talks about this a lot. Kind of go to the history and goes like, who were the fighters of the generation before me? The fighters that needed to kind of create this platform that I can now take advantage of. So I don't know. I wonder if I don't know. I don't know the kids. I don't know what they think of Fedor.
Yeah, and again, this is what I was saying before. Is it's so important for independent like media outlets to maintain this history because if the UFC becomes the keeper of all this great history, if they keep buying up rights to all these videos, they own Pride. They own all the Pride video. They can do whatever they want with it. If they own the history of all these fight promotions and the fighters, footage, they can. At some point, they're going to rewrite. And not necessarily in a bad way. I'm sure if someday they decide to do a Fedor documentary, I don't know if they would, but if they have the footage for it, if they decided to, I'm sure it'd be very, complimentary. It's not like they're going to do some Fedor slam piece for no reason, but something would still be lost because you're not getting, again, you're just not getting it from necessarily an independent source, and you're getting it from a source that is always going to favor its own history. I'm talking about the UFC over any history that's outside of it. That's just the way it is, and that's life. I'm not saying that's like a horrible thing for them to do. I'm saying when it's your company and you own that stuff, that's what you're going to do. So we really have to make it. What made me think of, Casey, was the Kimbo Slice. Every time I see the commercials for the Kimbo Slice documentary, and they have Dana White talking about like, oh, Kimbo Slice was like a once in a lifetime attraction, and I'm like, at the time, Dana White wanted nothing to do with Kimbo Slice. Like that is a shocking thing. Like he did not. He was trashing Kimbo at every chance he could get. It was so strange. Anyway, so I don't want to see that happen with Fedor, where they revise the history. But all right, who do we have coming up? It's yeah.
How many fighters?
It won't trash him, but it's going to change how they said they perceived him. Anyway, 4. We got 4 fighters left.
4 fighters left.
All prelim fighters. I already made my Dante Schiro joke, unfortunately. Lorenz Larkin, Berkhamov. Oh, no. Oh, do we haven't? Are we bringing out a box of redemption? Do they have a box of redemption? Let's just do a towel, I guess, in Bellator.
All right.
I believe that was 171.2, Casey.
Yes. So again, the Tower of Redemption.
Okay. So, he's not leaving. Okay. All right. We're gonna do a little.
Just point 2. I think we're good. We're good.
This is Berkhamov. I assume this is Lorenz Larkin's opponent. I'm mistaken. Please comments correct me. Oh, those shorts are 2 ounces for sure.
That's a proper towel.
That'll be fine. $171. He's got the 1 pound allowance. So that is Mukhamed Berkhamov, who is again not making his Bellator debut.
Hey,
his second Bellator fight. Oh, right. This is the I'm right. The running back. I'm sorry, guys. The running back with Larkin after the last fight ended in a weird way. So 171. We're still waiting on Larkin. There was an elbow to the back of the head. Yeah, and then so it was rightly changed to a no contest. So run it back. Just running that one back.
Yeah.
So now we are waiting on. Let me get this right.
The Lara's opponent, Alondra Lara.
Yeah, Diana Avsaragova. We're still waiting on. I'm forgetting. Let me check with. Let me check again. We have. I'm gonna check Amy Kaplan's tweet again. Oh, Henry Corrales. I'm sorry. We're still waiting on Henry Corrales, of course. And Lorenz Larkin. Oh, just 3 people. I'm sorry. Avsaragova, Corrales, and Lorenz Larkin. Okay.
Is Corrales? Is he fighting at 45? He's back at 45, right?
130, 145. Excuse me, 145. Yes.
Yeah, I know. He made.
I always think of him as a bantamweight. I don't know why.
No, he did it once. And it didn't turn out well.
Mm-hmm. Someone's asking 1 pound allowance. Really? Yes. Welcome to MMA. That is they allow a 1 pound allowance for non-title fights. I'm sorry. That was very condescending. That was very. See, this is. I should not be like this. I should not be like this because we talked all week about educating people about Fedor, and now I'm just being a jerk about it because someone asked a question. So I apologize. I got any questions, Pop? Manny G. No one brings up Sylvia. Okay, what do we got?
What is it? What's Jose Garcia? What is your issue?
Jose Garcia asking, "Oh my, OMG, he's fighting again. Why they keep crapping on Fedor?"
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know if he's talking about us or the promotion or I'm not sure. Jose Garcia, clarify your comment in the.
Jose, who's crapping? Who is doing the?
Maybe he just means maybe he just means he doesn't want to see Fedor fighting anymore.
Oh, but then don't watch, man.
B-boy, hold on, B-boy J Mills. No, it's not just Bellator. UFC also allows 1 pound. That's the general North American commissions. It's a 1 pound allowance for a non-title fight. For a non-title fight, I hope you realize that's a non-title fight. So, yeah, B-boy J Mills, very normal non-title fight, 1 pound extra. I think it was in the spirit of like, if the scales, theoretically all scales are not equal. So I think that's why they did the 1 pound allowance thing. Why that would not count for championship fights, I don't know. I guess champions, you're just expected to have a better scale, but that's why they do that. What else we got? Casey.
Yeah, this Fedor.
I'm happy to just talk about the card, but there's any questions?
Yeah, well, I'll go to questions.
Oh, good question. Okay, well, this is a good question for both of us. So, WTF, did you guys actually watch Fedor in Pride?
What year was his last fight? What year was his last fight in Pride?
His last Pride appearance would have been Pride Shockwave 2006, Mark Hunt, December 2006, December 31st, so a New Year's show. He defended the Pride heavyweight title, and that was it.
Yeah, so I started watching MMA about 2009 or so. So I actually, my first live fight I saw on TV with Fedor was his fight against Hungman Choi. Hungman Choi, is that his name? What's his name?
Hungman Choi.
Yeah, Hungman Choi. Yeah.
I know. I'm the same way. That was like one of my first. Yeah.
That was my first.
So we're a couple of noobs.
Yeah. We're the noobs. Yeah. You're right.
No, but it's a good question because we were talking about like how do people, if you just missed this era, how do you go back? And luckily, again, the sport's pretty young. The footage is out there. If you have Fight Pass, it's all out there. It's also, I'm sure, out there through nefarious means. So I also came in later. I think I was watching a bit earlier, but I wasn't watching the tail end of Pride. I think I was just starting to get into UFC.
I did see the very last Pride show, or last two Pride shows, but Fedor was not on those last two cards. I believe. Yeah.
WTF yelling at us now. Y'all missed Fedor's prime career. I know. I missed the. I feel very sad that I missed that excitement. I've gone back and watched it, and
I'm not sad about this because like I wasn't around when the Rolling Stones were around. Well, when the Rolling Stones were in their prime.
That's how I look at it.
But I like music, and then you kind of go backwards, and that's what I like fighting. Yeah. So I go, okay, who are the great fighters before Rampage Jackson? Who are the great fighters before Chuck Liddell? That's basically how I discovered Fedor, and you go, holy crap, Fedor's freaking awesome.
Oh, we had a great experience in our own way, but I do see what WTF is saying here is something to be said about really being there in that moment. Like someday, again, just to bring up a random championship, the 2019 Toronto Raptors. I could run up any team, but say the 2019 Toronto Raptors. There people who were born after that who will not get to have enjoyed that run. I was, of course, in the middle of it and loved it, but they'll enjoy it in a different way. But I get it. They won't feel that same. They won't have that same thing. So.
You can talk the same thing about say Mike Tyson. How many of us actually saw Mike Tyson fight in his prime?
Yeah.
Almost none of us did.
I think WTF's just being a bit of a hipster. He's now saying you missed all this stuff. It's like listen to our pod. We talked about this stuff. We went back and watched it. We've watched it. We've all watched it many times. Casey has seen him in person many times since, fighting for American promotions. So, I get it. But that thing is, I never want to. I'd always tell people, if you started watching MMA yesterday, there's so much stuff you can catch up on. And yes, you weren't there in the moment, but it doesn't mean you can't go back and enjoy it and have a respect for it and all that. So,
yeah, it's like it's a very weird critique. It's a very that's like to what do you call it?
I understand where it comes from. I just think but if you miss something, if you miss a moment in time like that, you can cry about it or you can educate yourself. It doesn't matter, right? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's I'm not losing sleep over it, and I'm not losing sleep over it.
Oh, look at this hipster, Scott McCree saying, I saw Tyson.
Scott McCree, of course you did, Scott. Of course you did.
Yo, fart.
What else we got? Casey?
I will comment on this. Watching UFC Fight Pass is not the same, and it's true because
it's definitely not the same.
It's kind of a bummer because they edit out a lot mostly because of copyright issues. Because of a lot of the walkout that copyrighted music, they can't do it. I think they cut out a lot of the post-fight speeches and stuff, and a lot of the just in between things. So that's why I always enjoy watching Ryzen live. because you see everything. Like the weird intermission shows and stuff, and they just have
the guy with his butt hanging out, beating the drum.
Yeah, the cup of noodle guy.
That's
trying
getting.
to
Let me tell you something. Yeah, if that ever goes on Fight Pass, that stuff's all getting cut out. That's all getting cut out. I'm telling you. I can just talk about the rest of the card. Hold on. I'm gonna talk about this card a bit. I hope everyone. Well, for one, you don't have to choose. I see a lot of people commenting about the UFC. Yes, you actually don't have to choose because UFC did this screwy thing where it was supposed to be in South Korea. It looks like we have someone coming up, so I will put a pin in this in a second. But yeah, the Saturday's card was originally planned to be in South Korea, so they sort of kept it in South Korea time, which works out well because now they're kind of just essentially getting out of the way of the Bellator 290, last Fedor show. Oh, they're just testing the scale now. Okay.
I think it's the wrong. I think they should have tested it before the scale. Before the weight.
I would also don't step on the scale with your shoes.
Yeah.
Your shoes are dirty. I think people are stepping on the scale barefoot, so that's like when every time we see people go into the cage with their shoes, the whole team goes on in their shoes, and we're just like, oh. So many diseases.
You're a no shoes household, I assume. AK.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Isn't it weird if you ever watch like TV shows or anything, and like they're lying in bed with their shoes on or something? Have you ever seen that? Weirds me out.
Oh, that's bizarre. I'm like, that's not real. Like, that's not a real thing. Like, people don't actually do that.
All right. Who do we got? I don't know who this is.
It's either Lorenz Larkin or Diana Avsaragova. That is not Diana Avsaragova.
We're gonna take a chance. Say that's Larkin. Yeah. All right.
I'm thinking that's Lorenz Larkin and not a women's flyweight, but I could be wrong, and I have been before. $171. That fight's official. That is so. Did you notice that so many people have weighed in at the same weight? Is that not weird?
Wait. That fight's official. Hold on.
That fight is now official. Was that different music?
It was different.
Okay.
I like Larkin got the music, but Fedor didn't. Fedor didn't get the music.
Well,
you okay?
We'll give people. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm hitting my cough button, but my cough button is not responding that well. So people are hearing an awkward pause instead of me clearing my throat, which I think is better. I think you'd rather hear the awkward pause. So yeah, we are just waiting on Avsaragova. Hopefully, no issues there. This is not her first Bellator fight. This will be her fourth Bellator fight. 3-0 so far. Again, I know Bellator likes what they see in her. Tough fight for her in Alejandra Lara, but again, they must they're kind of sink or swim with her, I suppose.
Oh, I didn't know. Lara, she came to San Diego and she trained with her former competitor, Lima McFarland, down in San Diego, and Lima's coming up to corner her. So that should be interesting.
I see Keith Gordon saying it's a scale, AK, it's a scam. Listen, I'm not calling anybody or calling any commissions, but whatever gets people on weight and into the cage on fight night, I approve of. Pro Fights Info wants to know, EKC Leiden, when was the first time you covered Fedor live?
Andrei Arlovsky for Affliction. That was it.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was the first time I covered him live, and but the first time I really covered him live, I really felt like I got the full experience, was when he fought Brett Rogers for Strikeforce for it was a TBS, right? That was a TBS show, I believe. Either way,
that was on CBS. You're correct.
Yeah, that was a really big deal. I remember at the time, and Brett Rogers was undefeated at the time. Brett Rogers had just knocked out Andrei Arlovsky in like 10 seconds. And so that was the first time. So that was in Chicago. So I spent the whole fight week covering the event. I got to see Fedor backstage in the locker room. One of the coolest things I've ever seen was well, not coolest, but it was just kind of like intense. Was Fedor, he's very quiet, never raises his voice, but watching him right before he's about to walk out, doing these kind of like loud, like grunts and like yells, like rah, rah, like it's like it was shocking. It was like, oh man, like
But he was actually emoting and like not emoting, but I mean like getting himself pumped, martial art pumped.
yeah. But yeah, basically, he's just like,
Ki-eyeing.
whoa, yeah, and just like doing these like rah, rah, like I don't want to do it like in this room because it would just freak everyone out. But you can kind of imagine it, I guess. And
He'll be like,
was
"Is that Fedor? What's going on?"
Yeah.
Oh, Fedor left.
But it was really intense. Esther had she had the privilege. She actually went on some promotional tours, and like they went to a Chicago Bears game, and he was down on the field, taking pictures of the big Chicago Bears mascot and things like that. They went to the big bean, Fedor was all like, "Hey, I can see myself," It was cute.
I wish I'd gotten to see him live in any capacity.
So
you saw like his first 3 fights in America, right? So you said, oh no, you didn't see Tim Sylvia, but you saw Arlovsky.
Yeah, I watched Tim Sylvia on TV, but yeah, I didn't.
Verdum,
but as far as like covering it as the job, Arlovsky was the 1st one. Yeah,
Arlovsky, then Brett Rogers, then Verdum. So three events in a row.
Yeah, Verdum. I was at the Antonio Silva fight.
You were at the Bigfoot Silva fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god,
in New York.
Yeah.
All the Strike
was a
Force
good time, eh?
Yeah,
Strike Force was a good time. I'm glad Lorenz Larkin is on this card because he is a part of that.
Yeah. I was at the I wasn't at the rematch, but I was at the original booking of Fedor versus Matt Mitrione, where Matt Mitrione got kidney stones the day of the fight, and the fight got pulled.
Ooh.
That was a bummer. That just sucked. That was just like, oh, because it was a Fedor fight. Yes, sir.
Also, I was going to ask if someone. No, it's all good. I was going to ask if someone had weighed in, but I think we are still waiting for. Sorry, we have 3. I believe we have 2 left. Henry Corrales. We did not get Henry Corrales yet, right?
I have not seen him.
I don't think. Yeah, no Henry Corrales. No Diana Avsaragova. Oh gosh, I wish I'd seen that still Strike Force days. I wish I'd seen. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I'd see. I wish I'd seen. People know I'm a house mouse, so I don't watch much things live, which is fine. But Fedor fights or something.
I was about to say. I was like, I never got to see Fedor in Japan, but I did see Fedor in Japan. I was there when he fought Rampage in Japan, which was cool. It was cool, but not cool because it was in a cage, and I always wanted to see Fedor fight in a ring in Japan. I saw Fedor fight in a ring in the States when he fought Arlovsky, but I don't know. Seeing the cage in Saitama just didn't feel right, honestly. But I did get to see Rampage and Fedor in Japan. That was really cool. Oh man! But actually, that was one of the neatest things because every time I got to see Fedor live, I was in the press section, which is usually about like I don't know, you're about 15 feet away from the cage. But for the Rampage fight, I was literally cage side, like cage is like right in front of me. So I remember at the time people were even saying that was a fixed fight. Like Rampage really didn't get hit that hard. Man, I was there live, and the sound when Fedor like just I think overhanded Rampage and just made this smack. It was just like it was awesome. It was like man, it was scary. It was scary, and like that's why I was like when I saw online, people were like, "Oh, he didn't even get hit that hard." I was like, dude, I was like 10 feet away from it. Like it was right in front of me. It was like Rampage is clearly not the same Rampage, but he can still take a shot. And like that was the first time I've ever seen Rampage take one shot and go like, nope, I'm done. I mean, we saw these fights when he fought Vanderlei and Shogun, where he had to take like 10,000 knees to the face before he goes, all right, I'm done. So it was, Fedor is just, like, the one thing about you might talk to other media members and other fans who've said this, but like, there's very few fighters that when they walk into a room, everyone just goes, oh crap, they're here. Like things change, Fedor was the first guy. When I've been around Brock's kind of like that. Connor's like that. Rondo's like that. Anderson Silva's like that. And Fedor's like that. Like when the open came for open workouts or anything, like everyone just kind of shut up. Like it was almost disrespectful just to even chatter in the background. It's like everyone's just focused on him. And yeah, it just we just don't. That's just yeah, it's just different. It's really interesting, and man, it's just not fighters like him. There wasn't fighters like Fedor before or after. Like, and everyone, we see all these trash talkers and everything now, which is cool. I don't mind trash talk, but like, everyone's like, oh, be like Fedor. No, don't be like Fedor. Be who you are. That's what made
Yes.
Fedor so awesome. It's like that's just who he was. And if everyone did that sort of thing, just be all quiet and solemn and don't have big celebrations, the sport would be so boring. But the fact that just be who you are, Fedor was just like that, and it always it was always 100% authentic. He wasn't trying to, I don't know, trying to show off or hype up the audience at all or anything, or try to sell a fight. It was just that's who he was, and yeah, just I don't know. It's hard to describe, and I feel very fortunate. I got to see all these fights. And I'm very fortunate. I feel very fortunate that the final fight was right down the street, so I get to witness it.
So you're getting a little choked up there, Casey.
Yeah.
Thought I saw a little bit of emotion welling up there.
Oh, dude, I dig it, man.
You're lucky. It's your face is kind of dimly lit. You're backlit right now, so people can't really see your face. So if there's they can't see the tears coming down your cheeks right now. I know they're there, but we can't see them. So you're very lucky. Someone Mushy Slime wanted to know how's this airing? Again, people, this is the return to CBS. I know in North America it'll be on CBS. They're all also asking, is there a way to watch it online? The prelims will be on MMAfighting.com. It's a big prelim. It's 11 fight prelims, and again, a lot of good names on there: Neiman Gracie, Lorenz Larkin, Henry Corrales, Alejandro Lara, Darren Caldwell, Jaylon Bates. A lot of big names. So that's gonna be on MMAfighting.com. When the main card starts, CBS on television, also Paramount Plus. Kids, I don't know a lot about Paramount Plus. Is that something you can watch online, or what's
yeah, Paramount Plus is I think the streaming version of CBS.
Sweet.
And
okay.
CBS Showtime. I know it's all kind of the same thing. I don't know, but yeah, it's just the streaming version of it. So
yeah. So if you have Paramount Plus, so if you're not at a TV or you just want to like double screen it, you're doing something on your computer and you have a laptop over here or whatever, or two screens. Yes, Paramount Plus will be where you want to stream it online. So that'll be, again, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. All right, Josh Thompson, you happy? I'm out here promoting Bellator. War Randleman, RIP. Yep, we agree. Justin Vegas, we putting down a dog. Is this Fedor and me? What? Oh, is this Fedor? Oh, Fedor and me. Oh, that's just a sad way of looking at it. Come on.
Oh.
Manny G says he just subscribed to Paramount Plus and they are playing it. So there you go, people. That is confirmed.
Okay,
Casey, go ahead.
Oh, go. You go.
Yeah.
No, you go. Hit me.
Omar M wants to know, Casey, do you know about Fedor? I've called Ryan Bader Fedor, and now I've called Fedor Emelianenko Fedor. I'm on top of my game today.
That's like the bootleg version of Fedor.
Casey, let's run it back. Put that out later. Casey, do you know the story about Fedor losing his grip strength is true? It's a repeated story on SureDog and Reddit, but I can't find the source. So it sounds like a bit of an urban legend, but I don't know, Casey. I don't know if you ever heard anything about him breaking his hands and that maybe affecting his grappling. Maybe it's affecting his why he's he's become quite the brawler, really. In the last I was saying this on the Damned episode we did.
Yeah.
That, like, first half of his career, it's like 16 submission wins. Second half of his career, it's like 16 knockout victories. I don't know if that has to do with him, again, not being able to grapple anymore, but it's an interesting theory. I can't imagine breaking your hands or doing whatever he's done to his hands over the years. 46 professional fights, plus all the training. I can't believe it'd be good for him. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I can't remember the last time he's honestly gone for a submission.
He doesn't. He doesn't really. He loves scrapping. He does. Listen, he's done the submission thing. Again, if people go to his fight record, you'll see the first half of his career. It's not like he was only grappling. He was striking and wrestling and finishing with submissions. And the second half of his career, a lot less grappling, a lot of swanging and banging. And I think it's a good thing. I don't know if people lament the prime Fedor who could swang, bang, submit, but I like the swanging and banging Fedor.
Yeah. That's a good. It's I don't know how to answer that. But yeah, the way he throws those punches, they hurt a lot. They land, but they kind of come at an angle, so your thumb he breaks his thumb basically very often. So yeah.
We'll talk about some other fights in the card. If people keep sending in questions, if there's any interesting questions, Casey will ding me. But we should talk about this co-main a little bit. Thank you, Putra Riza Pratama, great haircut, AK. Thank you again. Shout outs to District Toronto Haircuts. My boy Daryl, always taking care of me. Let's talk about this co-main a little bit. Johnny Eblen, really, this could be a huge 2023 for him. It could also be a crappy 2023 because Anatoly Tokov is legit, and people have been saying I know. I was about to say that I tried to change the subject, and here comes it. It's essentially the weigh-in rain dance causes one of the fighters to come out.
Is this the last fighter?
No, it was Henry Krallis or Diana Avsaragova.
All right.
Oh, I'll answer this next question too, actually. We'll talk about Fedor some more. I guess no one wants to talk about Johnny Eblen.
Oh, they say we are. Ooh, they say Krallis had to shave his head. Exactly, that's not Krallis.
No, this is what is. Wait, this is someone who weighed in before.
136.4 right now.
Wait, did this person miss weight before? Wait a minute, what?
Hey, who is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is no.
Who is that?
Isn't this Lugo?
That's not it.
I thought this was Lugo. I thought he made weight before.
Huh? Hence? Oh, Bates. Oh, it's Jaylon Bates.
This is Jaylon Bates. Didn't he weigh in already? I guess not. Ooh. 136.2 for Jaylon Bates. So that's going to be a miss. I don't know what the ruling is on him getting a chance to win again, if he even wants to.
0.2, man.
0.2 over. And they've had a pretty generous scale today, so. And he did weigh in before. I thought I guess I didn't record. I thought he had made before. This is his second time stepping to the scale. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so I guess that's it. I don't know if he'll come back, but I will note that on the Twitter as a miss.
But it looks like he's still going to try to cut weight. The way he walked off stage,
Okay.
he's like, all right. He didn't look like he was dead yet. He looked uncomfortable, but not.
Yeah, all right. We will keep you guys updated. Keyboard Warriors MMA saying he came in 136.8 the first time. Thank you, Keyboard Warriors. So he dropped 6 ounces, but not quite at where he needs to be. So 136.2 for Jaylon Bates. I will note that here. Let's see if we have Avsaragova coming up.
Here we go. That's what we got.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
That did not sound like a make.
Nope. 128.8. So
128.8, 2.8 pounds over the limit. Avsaragova.
I'm sure Lara will still take the fight, but it's not official yet. Until
it's definitely not official. No. Okay, so we're not going to say the weigh-ins are done just yet.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
No, it had to be done.
Yeah.
It had to be done. No, it had to be done. Don't apologize. So there we go. So we have 2 blips people on the weigh-ins out of the 28 fighters weighing in. 2 coming in heavy. We had a little bit of a scare before, but then we got a towel, and that was fixed up. I want to see Avsaragova's weigh-in history. I'm pretty sure this is her first miss. I'm going to double check.
Did Neiman Gracie weigh in at 174? That's not right.
Neiman Gracie weighed in at where do we have this here? Where'd my weigh-ins go? I had a whole weigh-ins thing here, Casey, and now it's been gone with the wind. Neiman Gracie 170. Did he come in 174?
No.
170.4.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, we'll fix that. Yeah, we got that on our site. 170.4 for Neiman Gracie. Yeah, Neiman Gracie did not miss weight. Yeah, let me just ding this. Okay. The scale is still out there, so they haven't started clean. They're going to do ceremonial face-offs later in the day, correct, Casey?
Yes, starting at noon, I think. No, starting at 1 p.m. At
1
noon,
p.m.
noon. They're going to have the lightweight Grand Prix press conference, and we will be recording it, but it will be streamed on, I think, Bellator's YouTube channel, and along with the actual fake weigh-ins.
Okay. So let's see. All right. I guess we can do a bit of a rundown because I don't know if we're going to see. I guess technically we have, so the weigh-in started again at noon Eastern time. I guess technically we have another hour. I don't know, Casey. I don't know what your plan is. If we should wait here and see if Avsaragova, I can't imagine is going to try and cut. I don't know what you could do to lose almost 3 pounds. That's a wrap. But Jaylon Bates, 0.2 over. Pretty confident he's going to make it.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Corrales, really.
And Corrales, that's right. I keep forgetting. Henry Corrales, if you're out there, I apologize. I've interviewed Henry Corrales on at least a couple of occasions. Nice guy, great fighter, very exciting fighter. And I'm sorry I keep forgetting that he hasn't weighed in yet. I think it's more I'm assuming that he showed up and made it. Maybe I'm just taking that for granted now. So apologize to Henry Corrales that I keep forgetting. Someone was asking what was my first Pro Fights Info was again asking what was my first Fedor memory. And like Casey, I said, the first fight I really watched because it kept getting replayed on HDNet over and over again up here in Canada was the Hongman Choi fight. There was all these weird, they had the rights to not Pride stuff, but like, they were just getting rights to hit fights from Japan. So not Pride fights, but fights that include like Fedor and the Super Hulk tournament and stuff like that. And that was one of them. But I had heard of him before that. I just hadn't had a chance to watch his stuff. And I'd heard everyone saying how great he was. And just like, again, this was me just sort of getting into the UFC. So I was like, oh, classic noob. Like, oh, if this guy's so great, why isn't he in the UFC? Like, I had no capacity for like, understanding. Yeah, that the MMA world was so much bigger than the UFC, and that the UFC up until probably around when I started watching it was number 2 behind Pride. Like I didn't understand that. People had to explain it to me. So yeah, and then of course I went back like everybody else and watched all the Fedor stuff and read as much as I can. And I'm very lucky, I get to work with people who were coming up, Jed Mashu and Sheen Al-Shadi, guys who were there when it was happening, and they've explained sort of the magnitude of Fedor's career. So yeah, definitely pretty caught up, and I hope everyone gets a chance to catch up if they didn't see it.
All right.
Okay, what do you think is going to happen here? You think Jaylon Bates?
I'm going Bates.
He just step into the sauna for 10 minutes and just step into the sauna for 10 minutes and
Ooh. Yeah, we got Bates.
Oh, okay, he should be all right. Let's and the towel just in case. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is even a towel. This is what is a shroud? Can we call this a shroud?
The shroud of shame. Yeah.
Or the shroud of redemption. Though I do like the alliteration, so I'm not gonna lie. I hope there's a chance we get to call it the shroud of shame. You don't want the shroud of shame the day before a fight. Like that's bad juju. There we go. A 136 for Jaylon Bates. He made it, and his fight with Jornel Lugo is official. 136 for Jaylon Bates.
If you're wondering that enthusiastic every time someone makes weight, that is the legend Burt Watson.
Oh, Burt Watson. There you go. Listen, we keep talking about MMA history. There's another guy we hope is not pushed aside, is not forgotten, because He's a very familiar sight to people like me who, again, started getting to the UFC in the mid-2000s, and you just saw Burt Watson all the time. So glad to see Burt's still an integral part of the MMA community. So that's a big make for Jalen Bates. He's 6-0 going into this fight. Lugo, a very tough test, and if Bates beats him, we'll have a good gauge of where this guy really is as a prospect. But Bellator's has put some stock on him. So we are now just waiting on Henry Corrales. He'll be coming in at featherweight. He is facing the undefeated Akhmed Magomedov, who has previously fought for Brave Combat Federation, has fought once for Bellator, made his debut with promotion last July, and won by rear naked choke in 76 seconds. So certainly another fighter to keep an eye on. Casey, let's see. Do we got people? Any questions? Any questions you want to throw in there? Otherwise, I'm gonna start talking about John Eblen. I'm gonna start talking about John. This is a threat. I'm giving people time. Omar M wants to know, does MMA fighting got any South Korea connections? Really curious if there's any buzz for the UFC event over there. Okay, a little bit confusing phrasing. Again, so just a reminder, Saturday's event is not actually in South Korea. It was planned to be. They had hoped that the Korean zombie Chan Sung-jung was going to be on the card in some capacity and that he would have his retirement fight there. When he fell off of the card, it just apparently did not become viable for them to still go to South Korea. I'm not entirely sure why, because there are other South Korean fighters on the card. And the fan base over there is pretty rabid, pretty loyal. So I still think it would have been a good idea to go over. But again, I don't know. I guess logistically, they crunched the numbers. They figured the cost wasn't worth it without Zombie being on the card. So they decided to instead move it to the luxurious UFC Apex, and yet keep all the same fighters on the card, and also keep the broadcasting time, which will essentially be prime time over in Asia. Avsaragova. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Henry Krause. So I swear I know who Henry Krause is. I apologize again. This is silly.
So I think this will be our last weigh-in.
It'll be the last weigh-in. He needs the shroud.
The Shroud of Redemption.
$145.6 for Henry Corrales.
Say it, okay.
Oh, yes. His fight with the undefeated Akhmed Magomedov is now official. Yeah.
Feels good, huh? Feels good.
Okay, let's do a little runner downer here in a second. Hold on. New York Rick just messaged me. What did Henry Corrales do to you? I'm sorry. I don't know. I keep thinking he already weighed in. It's not that I don't remember him. It's that I'm so confident he was going to make it. I had assumed he had already weighed in, and we didn't need to talk about Henry Corrales anymore. But anyway, with the Shroud of Redemption, he has successfully weighed in for real. Yeah, we'll do a read-through in a sec. There was something that Casey, what was I forgetting to do? Something about Johnny Eblen. Oh, someone asked, Manny G just says, do you have anything to say about Johnny Eblen? Yes, I do want to say, since we talked about Fedor pretty much nonstop this whole show. Johnny Eblen, co-main event, title fight. He's ranked. He's a ranked guy in MMA fighting rankings. He could be one of the 5 best middleweights in the world. We don't know. He's so young in his career. He has to put together a run first. But Tokov, and if he gets past Tokov, who I think is his toughest test in Bellator, he could go nice. I don't know. He might not lose again this year.
Dude, Eblen impresses the heck out of me. What he did in Misasi was shocking to me.
Awesome.
And it was dominant. It wasn't a fluke. Even Misasi was like, nah, that kid's good. King Mo doesn't BS with me, and King Mo is one of his main coaches, and King Mo's like, Johnny Eblen's the real deal. And I'm super excited about Eblen, and I have him very highly ranked in my rankings too.
Yeah, and I think even just watching, I think if you watch Johnny Eblen, like he's not at this point where like the problem is he's an MMA fighter. He's a super high level MMA fighter, which means he's well rounded. He's like fairly like he's actually like again he's got a good personality too. But like his in cage style, we're in this age where it's there's a uniformity to how people fight, right? People train MMA now. This isn't like it was 20 years ago, again, in the Fedor era, where someone would specifically train wrestling and train boxing, and you train MMA now. You train everything. The first day you step into a gym, you're training everything. You say, I want to learn MMA, you're training everything. You're not spent. So Eblen is of that. I'm not saying he doesn't have a good wrestling background, but I'm saying he's of that, generation of guys who are just great MMA fighters. And it's kind of hard to separate yourself from the pack. Like, the things he does great are like almost subtle. You have to watch him. You have to watch the Musasi fight. You have to watch performances before that. Yeah. And again, that might be the case on Saturday as well. He might put on a master class against Tokov. And for, I think, a lot of people maybe just tuning into CBS who haven't watched MMA in a long time might not understand what the big deal is. But Eblen, yeah, very good fighter and can only go up from here, I think. If he gets past Tokov, who is his biggest test at middleweight right now. If he gets past that, he can have some big showcase performances this year. So good for him.
So remember, this fight was originally supposed to be Nemkov versus Romero, but I think this is just a great replacement fight for that. Another title fight.
That's right.
And Nemkov made sense because he had the two Russians at the top. I think the camps lined up right, but Eblen, I mean, I know AJ McKee is probably the golden boy for Bellator, but I would say Eblen's number two.
All right, Casey, I'm going to do a wrap here. Let's get
a read-through
down.
All right, hold on. I got to find some read-through music. Hold on. There we go.
Funky. Okay. All right, people. It catches me off guard when the horn starts coming in. Headlining the Bellator 290 main card, which is live on CBS and Paramount Plus at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Ryan Bader and Fedor Emelianenko both on weight for the heavyweight championship bout. The defending champion Ryan Bader coming in 234.4, and the challenger Fedor Emelianenko 236.2. Fedor, of course, fighting for the final time in his illustrious career. In the co-main event, we have another title fight as middleweight champion Johnny Eblen goes for his first title defense against Anatoly Tokov. Eblen coming in at 184, Anatoly Tokov 184.8. And opening the card, a welterweight just slugfest. This is it's got to be a guaranteed finish, or we have some bizarro world welterweight version of Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I highly doubt it. We have Sabah Homasi and Brennan Ward fighting, both coming in 170.8. The prelims, which you guys can watch on Saturday on MMAfighting.com, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. It'll be headlined by Neiman Gracie versus Dante Schiro. Neiman Gracie 170.4, excuse me. Dante Schiro 170.6. Lorenz Larkin 171, and his opponent Mukhamed Berkhamov, also official at 171. Henry Corrales, our last man to weigh in, came in 145.6. His opponent Akhmed Magomedov 145.2. Undefeated heavyweights Steve Mowry and Ali Isaev both were successful making weight. Mowry at 253.4. Isaev, the former PFL champion, a little heavier, 261.8. Chris Gonzalez and Max Rohskopf both weighing in 155.6 for their lightweight bout. Grant Neal and Karl Albrektsson both coming in 205.2 for their light heavyweight bout. Alejandra Lara weighed in 125.8. Her opponent, Diana Avsaragova, unfortunately did not make weight, missed by almost 3 pounds, coming in at 128.8. Status of that bout is still up in the air. You have to imagine Lara will take it and take a percentage of the purse, but that is not official yet. We do not know if that fight is going to happen. That's a lot to get the big weight miss. Former Bellator champion Darren Caldwell coming in 135.8 for his fight with Nikita Mikhailov, 135.4. Another bantamweight bout before that. Jaylon Bates making multiple attempts to weigh in, but did make it at 136. His opponent, Jornel Lugo, at 135. Isaiah Hokit, 145.6 versus Peter Ishiguro, 145. So that featherweight bout is official. And opening the prelims are welterweights Ethan Hughes and Yusuf Karakaya. Ethan Hughes at 170.8. Karakaya at 170.2. We got a lot of fights, people. We got a lot of fights.
All right, I think that's a wrap.
Amy Kaplan just tweeted, someone left their underwear at the weigh-ins. Casey, any idea?
Oh, that's me.
Any
That's
suspects? It was you. I mean, I should have said this off the air. That I should have asked.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, there will be ceremonial face-offs later. Again, we keep saying last, but look, this is the last fight week of Fedor, the last weigh-in of Fedor, then the last ceremonial face-off of Fedor, the last walk to the cage coming tomorrow, the last fight, the last goodbye. So people, don't be afraid to get emotional. Thank you for joining us today for the official weigh-ins. Thank you, E. Casey Leiden, for being the man on the ground, bringing you this beautiful footage. Thank you, Esther Lynn, just for being there. I can feel her presence, and she's going to have those amazing photos. I'm sure will be out there soon. The #1 Fedor chronicler out there, I say. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we will catch you later.
Yeah. Thank you, Nate Mar. Wait.
What?
Oh, I don't know. Hold on. All right. I'm ending it.